Donald Trump loves breaking the law. He hates being called out for it, though, and that is why he is so upset with AOC, who is speaking out against his illegal mass deportation plan and warning her constituents, as all Democrats should, of the ways that they can fight back, the ways that they can prevent their friends, their family, themselves from being abducted in one of these illegal ICE raids in which people are being deprived of their due process. And it is that work that AOC has been doing that now has Donald Trump threatening legal action against her, trying to intimidate AOC from helping her constituents. And she just called it out in a way that is backfiring on Trump. We're going to get into it all, but before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way, and it really does mean a lot to me. Now, before we get into how AOC called out Donald Trump for his threats against her, we have to start with how she's warning her constituents, something I think is an incredibly important effort that we can see right here.
You had a recent dispute, if that's the right word, with Tom Homan, the president's Homeland Security czar, so-called. You held an online forum, a Know Your Rights forum, that he didn't like. What were you doing? What was your goal as you saw it?
My job is to educate and act as a liaison of critical information to my constituents. And I was informing all of my constituents of their constitutional protections, and in particular, their constitutional protections against illegal search and seizure in the United States.
Homan was upset, I suppose, because he felt that you were giving advice to people who were here illegally. Were you?
I was giving advice to all of my constituents. Yeah.
He said he was going to report you, or even that he did reach out to the Department of Justice. Have you heard from the Department of Justice?
I have not, and I intend on reaching out to the Department of Justice to inquire.
The fact that we live in a time in which our Democratic representatives have to be instructing us on how we can prevent these illegal ICE raids from happening in our communities, Donald Trump's mass thugs breaking into our homes without warrants, breaking into schools, it is insanity that we have to do this, that this is the state of our country. And not only that this is the state of our country, but that some people will attack AOC for informing her constituents of their constitutional rights, how they can protect themselves from this tyrannical government. Isn't that what Republicans talk about all the time? Oh, we need the Second Amendment because what if the government becomes this military dictatorship? Well, Donald Trump pronounced himself dictator on day one, and he's about to have a military parade. So I think now is the time for us to care about our constitutional rights. But clearly, the Trump administration doesn't see it that way, considering what Tom Homan had to say on Fox right here.
Anymore. But Tom, you got AOC out there, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Congresswoman, putting out a webinar, doing a webinar to help illegals avoid, I guess, apprehension, giving tips about how to continue to remain in the country and ultimately game the system.
And I sent an email today to the Deputy Attorney General. At what level is that impediment? Is that impediment? I'm not an attorney, I'm not a prosecutor. Is that impediment? Is that impeding our law enforcement efforts? If so, what are we going to do about it? Is she crossing the line? So I'm working with the Department of Justice and finding out where is that line that they cross. So maybe AOC is going to be in trouble now, but I need the AOG to opine on that, because there's impediment is impediment, in my opinion. I'm not a prosecutor.
So how Donald Trump's administration wants to frame this, and at least the way that they're speaking about AOC, is that she's giving all this information, these secrets to illegal criminals coming into the country, which is just not true. But really, more than anything, it's important to recognize that AOC is not informing just people who are not citizens of this country anymore. She's informing U.S. citizens of how to protect themselves, because it would not be crazy to think that there will be more citizens deported, as there have already been so many of which were children, one of which had cancer. So no, it is not an insane idea that AOC is telling people how they can protect themselves. And she was not putting up with this threat from Tom Homan. She immediately called it out alongside her call out at Donald Trump. And I want to take a look at that right here.
And when we first did one of these seminars, Tom Homan, then acting director of ICE, said that he was going to threaten to refer me to DOJ because I'm using my free speech rights in order to advise people of their constitutionally guaranteed protections. And he may want to do it again today. And to that I say, come for me. You're going to have to come for me. Do I look like I care? Because the way that we guarantee in this moment, when people say, how do we protect against everything that's going on? How do we make sure that what can we do to prevent this erosion, all this stuff that's happening? We do it by exercising and using our constitutional rights. Our rights are use it or lose it. So we need to use it. And we need to challenge them. So don't let them intimidate you into thinking that you're doing something wrong by telling people what their actual legal constitutional rights are. There's nothing wrong about it, and there's nothing illegal about it. And if they want to make it illegal, they can come take me. That's how I feel about it.
I love it. Just telling them, come for me. AOC is not worried. She is putting up a fight against this administration because she knows they're not just criminals, they're not just hacks, they're not just crooks, but they're clowns. They're unqualified, they're inept, they're incompetent. They can't do their jobs. As much as they want to carry out their plans, they can't because they're not smart enough. That's why they have to lean on intimidation. That's why they're trying to silence us, because they know that they don't have any other tools besides fear, because they're dumb. And AOC made that incredibly clear, and a call out of how unqualified this administration is right here.
And you know what, Utah? That is the story that Republicans mock. Not mine, but all of ours. When they say that a waitress or working person is unqualified to serve in Congress. But the fact is, many of us are far more qualified to know what real life is actually like than any of them ever will. And I tell this story not because it is special, but because of how common and normal it is. While the details may differ, so many of us know what it feels like for life to be one bad day, one bad piece of news, one major setback, from everything feeling like it's going to fall apart. And we don't have to live like this anymore, Utah. We can make a new world, a better country, where we can fight for the dignity of all people. And it looks like living wages, Utah. It looks like stable housing, Utah. It looks like guaranteed health care, Salt Lake City. And it looks like respect for all of our differences, no matter who we are or where we come from. Oligarchy or democracy. And we are here today because we choose democracy. We choose freedom.
They want to make us afraid because they know they have nothing else to lean on. That much is true. They want to make us scared because there's nothing else that they can do. They are clowns. And I think the best example of that can be pointed out by one clown in Donald Trump's administration who really cares about his makeup. And that was done in a little bit of some mocking fun in a Democratic committee meeting right here.
Yielding to my friend from California, I want to go back just for a second to the amendment that you just introduced, because Signal is a very common form of communication. It's encrypted, and I guess I just why is it so bad to share classified information that would actually subject someone to criminal penalties for its unlawful and knowing disclosure? Why is it, I don't understand, but it's encrypted, so why is it bad to do that? What is the point of this amendment?
Well, Mr. Goldman, let's start our own little group chat. Mr. Moskowitz, welcome to the group chat. What do you think? No classified, please.
No, I think some of the things that were in that signal chat make excellent pieces of clothing.
Like pound, fire,
Like my
flag.
tie.
Fist, fire,
I
flag.
gotta get the chairman this tie. Right, get it in the rotation. I know you love yellow. You love yellow. Red sometimes. Sometimes red.
But Mr. Moskowitz and Mr. Goldman, anyone else who wants to join the Signal group chat,
The report.
I appreciate, so I appreciate Mr. Hegseth's commitment to transparency by like putting war plans in a group chat. But Ms. Crockett, what do you think about, should we ban classified information from being discussed in a Signal group chat?
We absolutely should, especially with your significant others or when we have the reporters in the room that are going to report out. And thank God for the good reporters. You know, thank God we still have the First Amendment and some people that understand what it is to do true reporting, because honestly, if this administration had their way, I'm sure that reporter would not even be allowed to report on this mishap. But more importantly, as I was stating earlier today, this isn't just about whether or not we as Americans are going to be safe, because clearly we don't care. But I mean, we are talking about our allies. Our allies are not going to want to share stuff with us when all we doing is putting it in a group chat with the brother-in-law, the wife, and everybody else.
Will the gentleman yield for a question?
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, it was reported that the Secretary of Defense, Mr. Hegseth, installed a makeup room in the Pentagon. And I was just wondering if you had any insight, based on things that get discussed in the chat, if you were aware of what foundation or what cover-up he used.
Yeah. He tried to conceal that story, but it got out.
Conceal.
Oh, he uses concealer?
concealer?
He uses concealer?
He did.
Oh,
Okay.
wait, hold on. Go back to this for a second. I'm not following this. The Secretary of Defense has a makeup room?
Yes,
Did he use government funds to create that makeup room?
It's unclear. I'm just saying in that room is where he does the concealer and the cover-up.
I actually don't have any problem with anybody that needs to get their makeup,
If he wants that, he should have that. That's okay.
especially if they want to wear their lashes.
Pete Hegseth is more worried about the security of his bronzer than he is state secrets. And I would say that that's not a quality that I particularly love out of a defense secretary, out of a secretary of defense. And I don't know who would, honestly. I don't know who would. But it's our job to call it out. And if you want to support that, we're doing it every single day on this channel. And as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video. And if you stuck around to the end, you can drop a blue heart in the comments. Until next time, I'll see you soon.